Oh, dude, you shot him in the dick.
Huh?
That's not cool, Butters. You don't shoot a guy in the dick.
That is correct. You just don't do it. But we do it every Monday. We always allude to it, to the shooting of the dick. You know, it just happens. Grun, I see your face. It's very Philadelphia right now. Over here in Indiana, apparently the Colts are doing good things. What is this,
They are.
AEW games?
I'm a loser. The Eagles lost, so
Clip
I'm wearing
that.
loser merch.
Clip
do
that.
Yeah.
I am a loser is what is going to be said from here on out. We're getting a sound drop of it. It's going to be I am a loser. So Grun, anytime you're going to be hearing that shortly. I mean, future shows. So if everybody's ready for that, that's going to be exciting. Speaking of things to get excited about, In Your House is doing some exciting things coming up in next March. We are going to be at the Squared Circle Wrestling Expo in Indianapolis, and we are going to be together, friendly, doing fun stuff, creating content, and making memories with our friends, and bringing it all to you fans, the household, through IYH out at the Squared Circle Expo, which, honestly, Grun, it's a dream to get you there. And I think it's capable. I think we are capable of doing this. I've been perusing the interwebs and finding some of the best deals we can. And I've shot some emails to some airports to possibly do some sponsorships with us. Because sometimes you got to shoot your shot. So, Grun, you might be the new face of Spirit Airlines coming up shortly. So, congratulations on that, before they announce it.
At least it's not Delta.
Well, I did send one to Delta too.
Delta.
But I feel Spirit is going to be where your lane is, and I think that's where we're going to get you on there. They seem to have the best deal so far. We never know. But we're waiting for Black Friday to see if we can get some better deals for Grun out there with us in Indianapolis. Did I tell you guys we're going to be in Indy for the Squared Circle Expo 2026? And some of my friends who join me here are going to be there. None other than the Chaos Goblin, Kevin Kalloway. And
Hey, that's me.
Annie O'Neill's going to be there. They come in pairs, and that's the way we like them. They're you go to the liquor store, you say, "Hey, I need the Annie and Kevin pack," and you just pick it up, and there they are, and you take them wherever you want to go. How are you doing, Kevin?
I'm not doing too bad. The Lions lost, so that was something. But Kansas City Chiefs are a bit of a tough team in Arrowhead, so I can't be too upset. But it's clear that the defense is thrown together at this point with a lot of injuries. But otherwise, personally, I'm doing quite well. So that's good.
That's great. That's all we really need. I mean, I can understand, wanting the Lions to win. My Bears, who knows what they're doing? I know they're doing something tonight. Whether it be football, I don't know. It'll be something, and it'll be on a grand Monday Night Football stage. So hopefully they win, but not putting too much stock into that one. Playoffs for the MLB are going on right now. Things are kicking off there. That's always a fun time. Grun, do you got anybody in the old MLB chase?
I did. And, the Phillies did what the Phillies do, and that is burn.
Poor Grun.
I'm hearing myself, and that's
Poor Grun.
I as an Indiana fan, I can't really say anything. I understand your pain. We've been there many times. You know how many times I've cheered for the Pacers, and they just not get over that last top rung, whatever you want to call it. But you know what? Things are changing on all fronts. And plus, you guys just had Super Bowls. So shut up, Grun. Your city's still rebuilding from the last time you guys won the big prize over there.
They're just looking for a reason to burn the city down right now.
Right now.
This is
I love
why
it.
I hate hearing myself. I never talk normally like I normally do.
Well, I understand, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Here we go. We already got someone. Nevin Wiebert. I like the name. He's
Ooh.
chiming in. This is a new time chatter with us. Nevin is saying, I'm mad at Raw. Be Braun turn on Seth. Yeah, that is a topic we're going to get into the further we get into this episode. But yeah, sports are happening. I think that's what's going to happen this time of year. We're going to be talking about a little bit of that. NBA is about to kick off.
Yep.
Coming up here.
I got my
weekend.
fantasy basketball team that inevitably is middle of the pack.
Hey, middle of the pack in the NBA can win championships, though. They can win championships, and we also Grun, me and you have been talking about this. I'm not sure if Kevin's heard us talk about it, but for me personally, the Killers of Kill Tony are coming to my town at the end of this month, and I'm going to go and get to see them. I will be seeing David Lucas himself, and I know Annie enjoys
Annie was
Lucas.
very jealous of that.
Hans Kim, who I'm personally really excited to see because, oh boy, this guy, I've followed his career since the first time he got pulled out of that bucket to now, and I cannot wait to hear him. Ari Matty is going to be there, and I know, Grun, that's a personal favorite of yours. You wanted to see him.
Absolutely. I love that Estonian bastard.
Oh, he is so great. Some of my personal favorites are also going to be there. David Jolly. I am so looking forward to him. And if you followed his career, he is the one who got Cam Patterson to where he is now. And that is Saturday Night Live as a featured player there. So there's a lot of good people. Kim's going to be there, the one who called Grun out. So Grun, if you don't think I'm making a sign that says you called out my friend, you're wrong. I am, and I will hold it up in the balcony.
I hope they let you in with it.
I hope they do too. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time. I'm really looking forward to this. The last comedian I seen in my hometown was Rob Schneider. They've had a few others come through, but he was the one I was able to get tickets for. A lot of comedians are selling out in smaller towns, smaller markets. I mean, and a lot of big names are coming to the smaller stages too. So that's crazy. I'm excited about that personally because, well, I come from a small town, so that benefits me a little more. So yeah, so that's what we got going here at the Raw preview review show. And speaking of the title, that's what we're going to do. We're going to review what we watched on Raw tonight. And who wants to kick off this show with their topic?
Kevin, do you think you would like to start?
I think I can start us off.
All
can start us off. So I came across something on my travels through social media. And it had something to do. I wish I could pull it up right away, but I saw it earlier, and I'll paraphrase. So, someone in a fan group, which is littered across the internet, but sometimes it comes across something, and I go, "Oh, that's intriguing," and bring it to the table. This specific fan, or actually, I think it was a person in the business. They stated that WWE will fish the water clean of indie talent and other people within the next few years. They have a roster of about 130 people right now, and they're making a lot of cuts. My assumption would be in one way, but I don't want to pollute your guys' mind before I bring it to the table to discuss. So really, I guess what I'm getting at is, are we reaching a point where WWE will have all of the talent?
Like
just across the board.
All the big draws and that's an interesting idea. I want to say no.
Okay.
Because the reason I want to say no is because I do find, like, we find unique talents that fans become obsessed with in the indie market. Danhausen, for example. Let's go with Danhausen has obviously created his own character, his own fan, his own niche in the wrestling community to where he has a loyal fan base who tune into
Right.
him. Opening toys as Danhausen. They run to that talent. I think those things are going to be shorter in the indie market because I think the buying power of the New York Yankees, which is the WWE at the time, is going to buy them up. I mean, they're LA Dodgers right now. They're going to buy up the talent because they can. Is it good for the talent and wrestling as a whole? No, absolutely not. Because what happens when that talent that they buy is not ready for that main stage and that flame goes out? It's a harder road to recover in that type of area, because like if you're on the main stage and you don't get over on the main stage in some form or fashion, did you collect any new fans? Did you gain any new attention? And so then you have to go back to the start, and by then who's to say somebody else didn't take your something from your gimmick and it worked better for them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I think the time will be shortened on the indie stars that are completely self-made, not by matches. You know what I mean? Like personality, things like that. Those guys will be shorter. The matches guys, like Shane Mercer, for example, I'm baffled why he is not on at least TNA right now as a featured player. Eric Dillinger, for another example, I don't understand why he's not in AEW causing a ruckus. Things like that, I think will be, well, again, I think will be taken quicker than what they are. Like even Nick Cage, you would assume that guys like that, the push needs to be bigger because they fit what wrestling is physically, in a match wise, character wise. It's wrestling to me. That's what I'm used to. But we are coming into a new age, so I could be completely fucking wrong. And because not only is there new talent coming in, there's new fans coming in, and they're different than what I think. So that's my answer on that. I'll kick it to you, Grun.
My thinking is that you have people or wrestlers that are very particular about the kind of wrestling they want to do, the style, the way they're presented. Young Bucks, Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega, John Moxley. I fucking hate hearing myself. I'm trying. Sorry. But they are very particular about how they wrestle. There's the, the way they structure a match, the way they tell stories. It is they might do fine in WWE, but they love the freedom that they get from AEW. So what's going to end up happening is if they come back, they're going to be demanding their way because now they've had their way for far too long. So it's not going to work out. There's some people that need structure. I think Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, she needs structure. She wants to prove that she can do it in AEW. I don't. I'm not going to sit here and say that she didn't put on good matches in WWE, that she didn't put good promos, but but she needed help doing those, and I don't think she's getting that same help on the same level that she was getting in WWE.
Huh.
Could see that. That makes sense to me. I think I think both of you are right, and I'm gonna add some corollaries to me too. And this is strictly my opinion as well. Looking in, Grun, I think you're right in the sense that there's always going to be people who don't want to go to WWE and they want to keep their own thing. They just want it on a larger stage. Take AEW, take New Japan, anything like that. And there is a lot of money to be made on just doing indie tours. There is a ton if you can brand yourself outside of wrestling and bring in everything from there. You got Effie, who uses Twitch very well. You've got a bunch of other people who just like find a bunch of ways to cross promote. And when you cross promote more, you can make a living without a big company to sign everything over to. And, and I think more and more people kind of realize that. I think there's also, and I don't necessarily prefer this kind of wrestling, but I understand it's niche. There's deathmatch wrestling too, which pays a lot more money, usually has different draws. It's quite niche, but you can make a decent money off of it. I know a couple people around my area. I believe they're known as the Pillars, Malcolm Monroe III and Tommy Vendetta, who've been traveling more around. And they've been making more on the deathmatch scene with like NHB, with No Holds Barred and things like that. And they make more money traveling around and going to places. So that's also a niche that's never going to be in WWE. It's just not going to happen. Like the whole style would have to change. Those things aside, I also think the answer is no. They're never going to fish it clean for a multitude of reasons. One, when they're getting rid of people and they're releasing them, if you left on good terms, there is always a chance to come back. And that's based on your own stuff that you leave and do. I think I used this example while we were off air. Drew McIntyre left. He put on like 20 pounds of muscle, started moving around as Drew Galloway, and all of a sudden he was a force to be reckoned with. Cody Rhodes. He got released as Stardust, came back as Cody Rhodes, and now he's the face of the goddamn company.
Yeah.
So I get that people don't like seeing people's livelihoods go away. But at the same time, those people, if they were smart with everything, they could definitely have squirreled away some money, figure out the next move. And if wrestling is the thing they want to do and go back to WWE, then they need to find a way to reinvent themselves to make themselves undeniable. Now, if they don't want to do that and they want to do indie dates and they want to do indie shows and they want to do indie tours, there is no shade on that. They can make their money doing that, and they can make a good money doing that. So I think we talked about the Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland to me is a slightly different scenario in the sense that he's currently injured. And that's kind of shitty to get released while you're injured because now you can't go out and work for another, however many months. And I hear that they're paying for the rehab, which is good, but the salary is still gone in that scenario. So unless he is getting help or some other way or some other recompense after that release or contract renewal or, whatever it is, that's a little shaky to me. Morality wise, not business wise, because business wise, you're clearly trying to get rid of him anyway. It's just the timing. But I think it's a fallacy that we lose all the talent because not only are we always cycling people in and out from the top and they can come back, but there's always new people coming up through the system too. And that means there's going to be more people that you need to cycle in. Take from NXT, then once the NXT guys are up, now you have guys coming back from the indies or coming from the NIL program or whatever. There's a lot of talent out there that hasn't been seen, that hasn't been featured. But I do agree, Voice. I think some people are going to get pushed too quickly. And because they get pushed too quickly and are expected to be pushed too quickly, we're going to see people who do have potential end up leaving. And it just doesn't come to fruition because of it, for whatever factor. And I think that's the big thing that we're going to lose out on. But at the same time, if these are the same guys that are still like 22, 23, they can leave for 5 years and come back at 28, 29 when they're even more in their prime. So if this is what they want to do, sometimes you got to double down elsewhere.
Okay. I agree with you there. Yeah, great points there, Kevin. Grun, can I get a quick couple words from you just to see if I fix this mic problem?
Yeah. My God. That is... Okay, so it's not good on your end. It's good on my end.
Okay, well, then don't worry about my end because
Right,
I can listen to you echo. You're the only one echoing.
Thank you.
So hopefully we fix that. Yeah, Kevin, I love your insight. I love what you bring to the show, especially with that. Fantastic work, uh, and good thought provoking, because that's where we're going to be at here coming up in the future. We're going to be looking at that, and like you said, some people are already worried about it. So here's where you get the first insight on someone who does it. So thank you, Kevin, for that topic. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Grun,
Yes.
why don't we talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, hey, why don't you check that attitude, sir?
I don't check
Because,
nothing.
well, you know what? I think you are going to want to check this attitude, because I want to talk about Dirty Dominic Mysterio and how, you know what, he's definitely making himself feel like he could be not the modern day Eddie Guerrero, but the Dominic Mysterio, the Dirty Dom that kids are going to look up to.
Mm.
He's AAA Mega Champion. He just beat Penta. He's going to be facing Rusev against next week, and now there are talks that he is going, or at least rumors, suggestions, theories going around that at Survivor Series he will be defending the Intercontinental title against John Cena. Do we think is John Cena gonna have a match with Dirty Dom before before he retires, or will Dirty Dom never get a match against John Cena?
Kev, are you ready to dive into that one?
Yeah, I think it's tough, because I think, yes, we do get a match. I don't know if it'll end up being. I don't really know what it'll end up being, though, or if it'll have a clean finish. I think Dom is a guy that he's going to want to work with, so that makes sense to me. I think Dom is a guy who could use the Cena rub on his way out. What has he got? 3 appearances, pretty much, 2 Raws and a Saturday Night Main Event.
My understanding is 4.
Or is it 4?
My understanding is there's 4 appearances left.
Okay, 4 appearances left. I know 2 of them are Raw. I don't know what the other ones. I know one of them is Saturday Night Main Event too.
Well, I think he's scheduled to be at Survivor Series.
That would make sense too.
Yeah,
that would make sense. I think it would be interesting to use Cena. I'm so perplexed as to who these last opponents are going to be, quite frankly, that it's really hard for me to predict at this point, because we got most of the ones out of the way. The only one that I was looking at Crown Jewel, and I thought to myself, this would make a lot of sense, is Seth and Cena. That's the only one in my head that made sense. But now with what happened, which we'll talk about later, now it doesn't make sense to me, because he's going to be busy. Or there might be other things at work behind the scenes.
Very true.
So as far as Cena's last opponents, my assumption is one will be Gunther. I don't know when, I don't know where, but one is probably going to be Gunther. Mysterio feels like a really good Raw opponent. I don't think it's going to be a pay-per-view opponent, but of those 2 Raws, he's going to need guys, and I think Mysterio is one of them that he's going to want to work with. Another one I could see is Braun Breaker. Yeah. Braun Breaker, you cannot rule out, because if Braun Breaker can think of it, if Braun Breaker beat Cena in his last match, what kind of rub that might give him, especially with the events that we're going to talk about later. So there are so many potentials, but I truly do think Dom's on the short list.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm going to just say, I think they're going to do it. I really do. I think his last matches are going to be what he wants to do. It's going to be his thank you for whatever, as long as they can fit a storyline in it. And why not pick Dom? Dom, you can run a story around him, and other people will blend into it. He's proven that he is what they called RVD, one of a kind. Who else is doing this stuff? Who else is going out there and pulling out heel work like this? And just because I have the match going on right now, and the fact that you had Penta coming out as South Park's Mexican Joker, wearing the Joker jacket, coming out and just being just he is such a sight to see nowadays, Penta. And then to put Dom out there and have an entire crowd singing to Dominic Mysterio. Here's the thing, crowd, he's supposed to be the heel. You're not supposed to cheer him as much as you did. I love it though, because honestly, to see where Dominic Mysterio is today, right now, is fantastic. I absolutely love it. I think he's well within the right to take on John Cena, to have a match like that. I do like the Braun Breaker match also, Kevin. I think that would be an amazing rub for him, especially if he got the win. He just kind of went through Cena in some aspect. But this Dominic idea, I would love to see it. I mean, if you're not going to give us Edge, give us Dominic then. Just, and look, the crowd out there was fantastic for the entertainers, for everybody putting their bodies on the line. They were a fantastic crowd for that. Outside of that, though, to when Triple H is trying to talk and you just don't let him because you want all these people were holding up Bret Hart signs. I love Bret Hart, love him, but what would he do inside the WWE today?
Nothing. Be unavailable to bump because he has too many injuries.
Exactly. His health would not allow it.
So then what? He's a glorified sharpshooter.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't pop for it a little bit, but like, for what purpose?
Exactly. Like, what we gonna have him set back there doing characters of everybody? He can do it, and they would be great, and we would all have a good laugh. But what's the use of having somebody just because of the name? It's like when we seen the first Crown Jewel, wasn't there signs for like they wanted Yokozuna? Well, I'm sorry, McFly, but we don't have a DeLorean and we can't go and get him. And plus, I don't think he was going to fit in a DeLorean. Love the dude to death, but he's Yoko's fucking
he's
Zuna.
big boy.
But I really think you need to capitalize on what Dominic Mysterio has, especially when he's going up against one of the guys, the greatest, the GOATs, whatever you want to call him. John Cena is making his exit, not going to be an in-ring competitor. I have to go back to it. If you're not going to give us Edge, give us this one. We would love to see this one.
Yeah. I think that makes sense to me. Just give the fans what they want.
Yeah.
Just give the fans what they want.
That's where I'm at with that one. Grunt, any final thoughts on what you brought to the table?
I mean, Dirty Dom Mysterio, like, there is no doubt in my mind at this point that we're probably not just going to see him be world champion, but I think in the lead up to him going for the world title, I think he's going to bulk up. I think he's going to give us kind of what Eddie did when he went for the WWE Championship. Bulk up. He's going to look ripped. He's going to look badass. And we literally looked at this kid and thought he is going to be a poor second coming, a second Rey Mysterio. And now he quite possibly might be the greatest Mysterio of all time.
He's got potential, and he's got
he's at the beginning of the run, so I'm not saying he's the greatest Mysterio of all time right now, but it's certainly It's certainly got a lot of time to percolate.
Very true. Very true. That's I'm excited to see the next levels of this career. We have Ken jumping in here, a little under the weather, but here to support. Well, we thank you so much. And then Nevin, look, I gotta ask, what is going on with this? I saw that coming. Hi, we're all good. Yeah, we get it. What do you want to talk about, bud? Because we're about to get to your main event question, your main event topic, and it is the turn heard round the world as of 8 o'clock this morning. The Braun Breaker decided to bet on himself and what he thinks he can bring to the table. And I do, from what I've seen, does he have Heyman? Is Heyman with him, or is he being held hostage?
So that's the key, isn't it?
It is.
It seems like Braun Breaker forced an ultimatum on both of them. Bronson Reed seemed more willing.
Oh, very willing.
Bronson Reed seemed more willing, but he at least took a second to think.
He did take a second.
I would say that. So there is that. But Heyman, I don't know if it was just a really good sell job. I don't know if, his wide ass eyes standing over Rollins afterwards was an indication of like, yeah, fuck this guy. Or if it was just Heyman doing what Heyman has always done in history.
True.
Back to the bigger horse.
Yeah. And
Heyman,
I believe
you got to look through Heyman's history. Whenever there was greener pastures, that's where he was. There was never we're going to grow this grass back and we're going to make our yard better. No. It was, this yard's dying. We're just going to leave it as is to die. We're going to bounce.
Yep. That's his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
He left WCW. He was there. He was doing things. Left it. Took over ECW. Took guys that they would throw away. We don't need you. Takes them for a couple months, revamps them, throws them back into the mainstream. They sell some of the most record-breaking merch sales of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's very telling that a guy like this, like you said, Kevin, he always sees the greener pastures anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime it comes up, he finds that way. He will ride that horse to great heights. And then once he sees that there's another horse out there who could take him to another height, he jumps over there. I wonder, though, if they're playing into fans like us who see that, who realize that, who see that. And then they're going to turn us and they're going to make it as Heyman is held captive. They've done it before. He does great work as being the scared weasel that he can play. But do we like Heyman as more of the authority, the guy who everybody does listen to? They take his chess game that he's trying to play and they go out there on the board and complete it. I'm kind of drawn, or I'm kind of up in the air with both of them because honestly, like House says, I'm just a Heyman guy when it comes down to it, what he does. But where does this leave? Because Grun, you did bring up, and I'm bringing you into the loop. You brought up there's a possibility of an injury, and hence why they sped this storyline up. So Grun, if you got any insight, why don't you hit us with that?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of us were betting on the Vision possibly being one of the teams in War Games this year and potentially revealing Austin Theory, possibly Brock Lesnar as well as parts of their team. And I think we all believed that Braun Breaker, there was going to be a split in the Vision. I don't know how it was going to go, but yeah, this moment right now, if they have to do it because Seth Rollins has to go through extensive tests and whatnot, yeah, like Seth Rollins being the attacked rather than the attacker makes sense. Braun and Bronson get heat. Paul Heyman, you can spin it. As you said, he bets on the bigger horse. Where's the only other like if it's not an injury, I don't know why they would do it this early, because it just was not the right time to do it if they had any other option.
I'll refrain knowing if it's the right time until I see where they go with this.
Fair.
Because
Fair.
I don't, if they can make something out of, if it is an injury, let's assume injury in this path. If they can make some chicken salad out of chicken shit, then I'm going to call it correct booking. And hindsight might be 20/20 on that, but that's fine. I think you have some intriguing options, even potentially more intriguing options for war games now, because you could still run a 5-person team because there's plenty of people who are against the Vision now. Well, I don't even know what they're going to be called. Because now you can also odd couple Seth and Punk. And that's a different twist. Because that's what this opens up. Now it's not Punk and Seth in a blood feud. Now they have to trust each other. Two people who hate each other against two monsters. Not only that, if you still add Austin Theory, that's a third person in that group, and I think he still fits. You could also add Lesnar. Heyman already established that he would come out with Lesnar. You don't have to add him to the group, but he can be a hired gun for a War Games. So now you have Seth, Punk, LA Knight, and either Jey Uso or Roman Reigns on one side and the other 4 on the other. And you can do a 4-person war game. I don't think you need a 5-person at that point, but you could, because then you can add Jey to the other side and then find literally anyone for the Heyman side. In fact, I think a good fit would be someone like Drew McIntyre, who already hates people on the other side. So why wouldn't he join Heyman?
Man, you're making war games sound excellent. I kind of want that. I think that would be a fun time. Yeah. You know what I'm really intrigued with what you said is a group of Heyman guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if Seth teamed up with Punk, you could have Punk turn and go to Paul.
Yep.
And then imagine Punk being with all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, you're almost making a well-constructed NWO. Like,
yep.
you're kind of doing a picking as opposed to let's just get buy everybody up, and then who do we have left to go against them?
Yeah, you know? Who's the faces we're gonna actually fight?
Exactly. So yeah, I love that. Where we're at with that thinking, because it's very seeable. You can see this happening.
Do you see the vision?
I see the vision. Even though they tried to take the vision out, I'm there with it, and I like it. I honestly, I really like it. So if we're gonna give this Raw specifically, an overall rating, where are you guys at for this Raw? Because to me, they hit on stories.
They did.
They hit on matches. They hit on pyro. I bet the popcorn was fresh. This one felt like a well put together Raw.
I think they're realizing that they were in a bit of a creative rut, in the sense that we were just kind of continuing but not advancing, if that makes sense. No, it's kind of a weird place to be in, where you're not really advancing a story, but you're just playing a holding pattern until it's ready. But there's only so long that you can do that with a lot of these stories. And with this Raw specifically, I think we had good action. And that's they usually have good action, but it didn't have consequence. A
Mhm.
lot of the stuff in this felt like it had consequence. The only one that I was a little confused by, but I think it advanced it still, was Bailey's whole thing with Lyra during the evening. Only because I was expecting more of a loss to keep Judgment Day strong, but I guess they came out later with the Vicaire thing,
Yeah.
and that kind of helped assuage any of what could have happened because they got right in the champ's face after.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and I think
personally would say that was one of Lyra's better matches that I've seen of hers.
I can see that she's been
With-
getting better. She put on
has been.
I can tell this. She put on a little bit of, it's visible. She put on a little bit of weight and she's been moving a little slower, but she's more crisp with everything that she does
Yeah.
instead of frantic.
Yeah.
So because of that, her work has improved about 10 times.
And I believe that slap that she did to Bailey.
Yep.
And now that you put it together, now I know why I believed it. Okay.
Because she's a little stouter and
Visually, these
I are the
love
things
that,
you got to
Kevin.
pay attention
Great
to
job.
because you're
Great
right. I
job.
believe her more because when she throws a punch, she looks like it could hurt people.
Exactly. Yeah, because that slap looked like it would wake you up if you were in a slug,
Mm-hmm. In a Bailey trance.
a Bailey trance.
But yeah, I think a lot of Raw hit for me. I'm excited to see where this Asuka Kairi Sane thing goes.
Yeah.
I think Rhea and Io can be a team going forward, and that'll keep them away from the title for a while, so Vicaire can build up before we put her in front of, huge main event women again. Rusev fighting Dominic next week. The Penta Dom match was great. Well constructed finish. I
That
loved
backdrop he took on the announcer table was
I
awesome.
loved the hammer because you know why? Not because of using the hammer and doing the double weapon thing, but because he hit it the whole time afterwards. He didn't just leave it on a curtain. He didn't just leave it in the ring. He didn't yeet it out of the ring. No, he held onto it. And then when he asked for his belts, he threw the timekeeper hammer onto the chair. Like,
Perfect.
it's those tiny things that make Dom so good. And then
I agree.
what WWE, in my opinion, was missing for a while was something shocking. We got that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
I
all
don't
saw
know
it coming,
anybody
but not this
expecting-
quickly.
Yeah. I don't think anybody expected it in an overseas show.
Nope.
If I'm going to be honest, I was expecting actually before War Games.
Yep.
I figured they would be out there doing a California tour on one of those Raws, maybe 2 weeks before War Games, just to spice it up, have them turn, and then there's turmoil. He's got to throw together a team or whomever is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm there with you. This was definitely the shock. Grun, where are you? Because this is a team that has demolished your hero. They have basically, since their inception, they have become a group to fear, and now the vision is broken. There's no more scene of this. I mean, unless Seth comes back to the guys and is like, okay, guys, I understand. Maybe I'd said some things out of line. Can we just bring the guys back together? I don't see that happening, Grun. So where are you at with this?
So I think you have this a little bit misconstrued because Braun Breaker did make a comment on social media post Raw, and that is the vision has never been more clear. I believe it is still the vision. It's just the vision doesn't involve Seth Rollins anymore. So what I'm seeing for this is Braun Breaker, he's not going to be talking like some wise individual. He's going to be this brute, this powerhouse, this beast, if you will, that has an oracle for guidance. And when the oracle doesn't give him, or the oracle's vision, the oracle's words don't come true, the oracle is going to feel the wrath of the beast because the Braun Breaker, it's not going to be about he's just that he's this new intelligent now just because he's taking out Seth Rollins. It's going to be he wants to advance his future quickly. He wants to climb the ladder faster.
Okay. I like that. So what you're saying is maybe every 3 promos we get some Steiner math.
I think we're going to get I think we'll get a little bit of Steiner.
We just
Not
get
yet.
that thrown in there.
Not yet, because that.
But we love it, Grun, when he does the
that's the
Steiner
thing.
math.
But I agree that we all love it. That's the
Yes.
problem and why he shouldn't.
Yes.
Ah,
Look, maybe in a year and a half, when it's a good time to turn him babyface again.
Mhm.
But
see, I'm tired of all these rules, Grun. I just want to cheer for who I like. I don't care if they're a good guy or a bad guy and they have that title. I just want to cheer for him.
why do you think I was cheering for Seth Rollins when technically he was a bad guy?
Well,
That's fair.
yeah. I did like DDP's stalker when he came to WWE. I thought that was a great character for him. I thought he played it well too. But yeah, so let's give a number 1 through 10. Where are we at with this Raw? I'm saying 8.6. It really hit on a lot of cylinders for me. If they keep this momentum going into the next one and have a great show that one, then you're in the 9s for me, Raw.
I'll give it an 8.5. I think that's a fair grade.
8.5.
I
All
think
right,
I'm
Grun.
going to give it an 8.
Ooh.
Okay.
Not because I think it's particularly worse, but because I think there's places to go.
Yeah.
I don't want to hit a little
Exactly.
higher. I want integrity of my scale.
Yeah. Fair.
I think that's a good grade. I don't think
Yeah.
it's.
8's still
No.
good.
Yeah.
It's a great score, especially from what we've been seeing for the past couple months. Let's just say
like 10 out of
It's not
10
been
for
great.
me is like Austin runs the beer truck into the ring, like unforgettable moment.
Yeah.
I
10
think
out
this
of
one
10
had a
for me.
really good moment
Oh yeah.
because that moment with Stone Cold, that made it 10 out of 10. I don't even know what happened on the rest of the Raw
No, very true.
because
yeah,
that moment defined that episode. I don't
Yeah.
know that this episode has a defining moment until we look back, depending on what happens. That's the problem with grading in real time sometimes is we don't see everything that's about to happen. So I'm going to say 8 with a corollary that I'm coming back for a 9 if we get
love
something
it.
out of this.
I love it. Yeah, because there's a lot to be said. I mean, from the pay-per-view we had, Roman Reigns, last thing we heard him tell the Usos he doesn't want to see him until Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So is that foretelling that's when we see Roman next? Where are we at with that? There's what's happening to Seth. What we seen was Seth was laid in the ring. Everybody
Mhm.
else left after beating the hell out of him. So there's a lot of questions. I like also how you're talking about this possibility of the Rhea EO tag team and moving forward with that. I think that would be a fantastic thing, and it would give the women's title room to breathe and to be seen around others' waist. So I'm looking forward to what we got going on. I'm still a little pissed at your guys' the way you guys do your PLEs now. But you know, what am I? I'm one person. I am nothing. So therefore I can't change that. But I do think that we're still looking at, I think the tides will change quicker with ESPN on this, and we might get back to where we were. Who knows? Time will tell. But for us guys, this is the end of our show. We would love to kick it to Raw, but they already had it at 8:00 this morning. So I think we go back on regular time next week. So we'll be back on there. We'll be previewing Raw. Basically what we talked about, we're going to be making some wild predictions on what happens on the next Raw. So stay tuned for that one. Click the likes, get all the notifications set up for when we go live. If you enjoyed it, if you didn't, you know, thanks for at least hanging out for a little bit and testing the waters. But before we go out, I need to kick it to my friends so they can let everybody know where you might be able to find them and what they do. Grunmeister. Let them know where they can catch those blue eyes of villainous.
Catch me on twitch.tv/Grunmeister, YouTube on Grunmeister, Kick under Grunmeister every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Do my SmackDown review preview show this week. We're just going to be reviewing the whole week of wrestling scene and giving my thoughts on stuff, predicting SmackDown that night, and we'll see what else we talk about.
Beautiful, Grun. I might join you for this Friday. I think
You're invited. You're invited. Everyone's invited.
As long as I don't have softball malarkey to do, I think I might join you.
Sounds great.
Yeah, enough of you, Grun. So, Kevin Kalloway, why don't you let them know where they can find you and all the chaos you create?
You can find me at Kevin Kalloway on Facebook, Kalloway Kevin on Instagram. Lucha Boom, November 1st. Got a lot of good action for it there. It's going to be a late show, sponsored by the one and only Don Julio. Get your tequila there. Get a nice cocktail. They have some, I think they have a cocktail after Mil Muertes and a cocktail after El Dragon. So they have specialty cocktails there. Fancy up your night a little bit. Masonic Temple out here in Detroit, November 1st. And then this week, this Friday, the Open Challenge returns. We're back defending this baby.
Beautiful.
And, I don't actually think anyone will ever beat me for this at this point. So you can just call me the Forever Champ.
The Forever Champ.
And that's going to be at the Ultimate Sports Complex. It wasn't an expo center like last week, I thought, out in Roseville.
Ooh. Awesome. Can't wait to hear about your escapades out there, Kevin, and see the title again. You know, we always love when you throw it up there because, well, you're the Forever Champ and it's always there. Champ. So, you know, it's always a special treat. So fans, if you're into what we do and you like it, guess what? We do shows damn near all week. Tomorrow night, we are jumping into the hot tag. Where House is going to go live and we're going to talk some wrestling. We are going to talk this past week of wrestling, probably Crown Jewel. There'll probably be some other discussions, some indie talk, some other things out there. But what you need to do is you need to go to the In Your House pages on YouTube, Facebook, X, all those pages, and go and sign up and click the notification so you know when we go live so you can catch all the shows. Because outside of that, we go to Thursday, that's the ECW watch along. That is a fun time where you can come and join me in house where we watch ECW. And this week, this is a personal favorite because we are trying to get him as a guest. We seen him liking some of House's posts about the ECW watch along. We are going to highlight. Well, you know what? You're going to have to tune in to check out who we're going to highlight. Yeah.
You tease.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to do that because you know what? Yeah, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to go back into the archives and see who we were talking about because we're really trying to get him on. I'm trying everything I can. Here's the trickery. So go back, go see it, and then go out there and find him on social media and let him know that I pissed you off. So he can join us and yell at me. You're going to love it. It's going to be a fun time. But we're going to try different tactics to get some of these guys on here. Friday's Grunge Show. Wednesday, you're going to love it. It's the fantastic time with Annie and House. And it is the bouquet of, gosh dang it.
I'm waiting.
I had it in my head. Bouquet of
you had the other word last week. You didn't. Now you have bouquet.
No, I know.
Of legacy.
Legacy. Damn it. Damn it. Bouquet of Legacy. Damn it. I am so sorry, guys. In Your House. Bouquet of Legacy. It's on Wednesday. Annie O'Neill House. It's all empowering women show. Wrestling also. But most importantly, women. Where they're going to highlight women matches. They're going to highlight women indie wrestlers and have them come on and have a discussion. There's going to be women referees. It's a women specific show for the content, but not for you, the fans, because if you're a fan of wrestling, you're going to love every single moment of it. I'm telling you, they got something here. they definitely got a show here, and it is specifically for you, the fans. Go check them out. You are going to love Bouquet of Legacy, and I swear to God, by next week I will have it. I'll have it tattooed somewhere on me so I don't forget it. But show them love. Go out there and show Annie and House that you appreciate it and that you love all this different stuff that we're bringing. Also, the animated show, it will be back. I promise you, it will be back. We just have to fit it in the schedule. There's a lot of things going. Softball is coming to an end, so I will be a little more available there. And I know House is the football's coming to the end for his son, so he's going to be a little more flexible. So with that being said, we need you to go out there. Let us know anywhere, even if it's a wrestling post that we put out there and you got an animated show you want us to watch, throw it out there. It will get seen, it will get heard, and we will put it in the works. So we absolutely love you guys. Go out and check goalie.com. That is where you can get 10% off of any orders that you put out there. And what you got to use is IYH at the checkout. That's all you got to do. IYH. Let them know that In Your House sent you. And if you want, get yourself some gummies for your mind, your body, your health. Anything you need, they probably have it. So go check them out. Goalie.com, and that is code IYH. Fans, we love you. It's a lot to be said. There's also the Squared Circle Expo 2026, March. We'll have more on that as the time comes. You've already seen a lot of the talent. Big Show's going to be there. Kevin Nash, Eddie Kingston. These are just a few guys that you could pay me to, say some things to. I'm willing to do that because we need baby Grun, Philadelphia boy in Indianapolis. So fans, for me, for Grunmiester, for Kevin Kalloway, and for everybody who touches anything to do with In Your House, we absolutely adore you and love you, and thank you for joining us, and we will catch you on the next one. So bye.